Hey there everyone, this is Jeff Perkins with JD Cutlery, throwing together a quick video on a couple newly anodized zero tolerances that I have in stock. We've got two of the ZT0462s, Sinkovich design, and then we've got three of the ZT0609PUR. So those were the sprint run. They did come with purple handles, but why would I be like everybody else? Figured I'd go ahead and buff them up and give them some different color variation. And then you have that nice shined up DLC coated blade, as well as a little bit more subdued pivot. The pivot on the normal 0906 is a little bit higher buffed, so that kind of leads it to that darker smoky look of the DLC blade. So we'll go ahead and hit each of these knives one at a time. I'm gonna start off real quick with the 609 PURs. So you can see that nice black DLC blade. It's not a super deep black. It looks like a black that they have polished out a little bit. It's pretty sharp looking. I like the look of that. And as you can see, that pivot, it is the standard pivot that came on these knives that you've got to buy the separate tool to work on. And then you've got that nice high voltage blue with a little bit of purple hint. Depending on the light and how you angle it, you get some purple variation in some of the edges. Very sharp looking. I really liked the way this high voltage blue turned out. So because of that, I did two of them. It's got your standard ZT pocket clip, steel pocket clip on these, steel lock bar insert. Lockup is pretty good on it, probably about 20-25%. Centering looks pretty good there, and they flip out real nicely. Nice smooth little knives. Definitely a medium size knife. I just really like the high voltage blue of these, so turned out pretty good. I did do two in the high voltage blue. One is a little bit lighter, almost to a teal, but not quite. It's still definitely a high voltage blue, leaning towards the teal just a tiny bit. But same overall color effect. Again, good lockup, nice and early on it. And the centering looks pretty good there as well. So they flip out nice and fast. So there's the two blues. And then this one we went with a multicolored green, so it's got kind of a marbly green. And then the high points have been sanded and done a purple blue. So I don't know how well the camera is going to pick it up, but all of the edges on this have been sanded and hit with a high voltage purpley blue color. So depending on how you flip it around in the light, you get a purpley blue effect on all those high points and those edges. So definitely a neat looking little one. That's nice early lockup as well. And the flipping action is pretty good on all these. Comes out nicely. Let's go ahead and check the centering there. Centering looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and jump into these two Sinkoviches. I really love that 460 platform, but personally the 460 is a little bit too small for me. I'm into a bigger knife. The 462 definitely hits it out of the park for me. You've got the titanium pocket clip, which is a step up that you don't have on the 460, and just a lot more size. This one's done buffed out and then hit with a high voltage blue. Depending on the light, you do get those hues of purple in there. fingerprinted up a little bit. Really doesn't change the look of this one much. It does a little bit, but not much. That buffed out high voltage blue looks nice. It's one of my favorites in this one. Nice early lockup, probably about 10%. And your centering on that one looks real nice. But just such a smooth flipper. Engages nicely. That nice big upswept blade fits in the hand really nicely. So it's definitely one I like. The only miss for me, no lanyard hole. No place to put a lanyard because of the placement of the screws and all that. I really didn't try and play with it much to put one in there because everything's fitting in there so tightly. So that's the only thing that, personal preference, I would change. I'm always big on having a lanyard just because it's so much easier to get it out of the pocket and roll with it. So that is the high voltage blue. And there is a buffed out bronze. You got that goldy bronze. Fingerprint that sucker up. And we're going to make it a darker brown, almost purpley. So that's what she looks like. Fingerprinted like crazy. Nice deep rich bronze. Super bright bronze when it starts out. Little Windex and you're right there. Centering looks good. And again, lockup on these is nice. Just fits the hand so nicely. I am very happy that they decided to do a bigger version of the 460, because the 460 with my hands, my fingers get on that lock bar and I have a hard time opening that one sometimes. So 462 definitely not an issue there. And the 462 does have that red carbon fiber, so it's got the red weave in there as well. So we've got the Sinkoviches here, the RJ Martins. I know I mentioned the DLC coating, but steel is going to be the CPM 20CV. So you do have a nice steel on it as well. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what the original 609 has on it. The handle definitely is a little bit different. The finishing technique that they used on these purples is slightly sandblasted. It didn't buff out quite as bright and shiny as the original 609s. You get some crazy bright buffing on the originals. So I think when they went to do the anodizing, they did a little bit of sandblasting just to give it a little bit of extra texture for that color to really grab into and look like a nice deep purple. So these are a little bit different. Of course, we changed them up for these three just to give you a different color, because even though that it is a sprint run that originally was purple, why be like the other guys? Let's do something a little bit different. So all of these will be available on the website. The 609s are already posted. I'll have the 462s within the next day or so. So if you're interested, definitely check out the website at www.jdcutlery.com and see if there's anything you like. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.